What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to talk about my handy dandy weight rack here. It's entirely made out of scrap wood. Well, I was doing a lot of working out and weightlifting at home, and I was saying to myself, you know what, I need to start putting all these dumbbells up on a weight rack of some sort. So I started shopping that out, and man, those things are expensive. So I started thinking about, hey, with all the supplies I got, how can I actually use the existing supplies I have and maybe make something that would, take care of this. So this is the weight rack, and as you can see, I've got some 2x4s here, and it's set inside of a V-notch format. And so you can just hover the camera over here so that you can see that there's actually a gap between the boards. And I've spaced this so just right at the width of the dumbbell that the edge of the board would sit firmly on this. Now, when we get over here, you can see that I'm using simple wood screws to hold the boards in. So this was not a high budget affair. Believe it or not, this thing's 7 years old, so it's been here for a really, really long time. And it's very, very sturdy. I mean, I secured those screws really in there. I do not have any really heavy weights on here. You can see that right now my 30s are the heaviest thing I've got on here. I wouldn't feel afraid about putting 40s on there. If I had like some higher end weights, if I had 100-pound dumbbells, I probably wouldn't be using this sort of project in order to secure that sort of weight on there. But in terms of just supporting smaller size dumbbell, yeah, man, this thing holds up, and it holds up really well. I've never had to service this the entire time, and it's gone through a few moves. So yeah, this does the trick. One quick thing I wanted to show about the V-notch. The reason why I went with this format is because I noticed some of the professionally made ones, professionally made weight racks, used a V-notch format in order to support their weights. And it took me a little while to figure out why they chose to do it that way. And then once that I did it with the 2x4s, it actually made sense. If you look at the way this is sitting, the edge of the board never allows the dumbbell to come unsecured. So as much as I try to wiggle this around, you notice that, hey, the dumbbell's still sitting there, right? If I pick it up and just replace it, hey, the dumbbell's still sitting there, right? If I shake the board, right, it never comes off. So the advantage of doing this V-notch format is it actually keeps that dumbbell really secure, and you have to go out of your way to knock that thing off of the rack itself. And so when I put these things here, they just kind of naturally sit into their position. And even with the really heavy weights, when you put it down, it wants to sit into that position. So it's a real plus to doing it with this type of design. It seems to hold the dumbbells firmly in place. So for some quick dimensions for the horizontal support on the 2x4s, it's 6.5 inches across. The two end vertical boards are 1x9s at approximately 34.5 inches high. The distance between my vertical boards is approximately 11.5 inches. Now my first board actually sits about 1 foot distance from the ground. And what this does is it gives me enough clearance to be able to take things like this stepping stool here and be able to shove it underneath for clearance. You could also shove other things, like I happen to keep some extra stretch bands and some other working out paraphernalia down there as well.